What's up, everybody? Hey, Tom Laird here, host of the Advice from a Call Center Geek podcast and founder of Expivia. For exceptional contact center outsourcing, trust Expivia. We're fully AI-driven, as all of you know, and can handle voice, email, chat, and all of your digital channels. Our 600-seat USA contact center is expert in healthcare, financial services, insurance, tech support, retail, and more. Experts on the NICE CX1 platform, we ensure seamless customer experiences. DM me or visit expiviausa.com for more.
This is Advice from a Call Center Geek, a weekly podcast with a focus on all things call center. We'll cover it all from call center operations, hiring, culture, technology, and education. We're here to give you actionable items to improve the quality of yours and your customers' experience. This is an evolving industry with creative minds and ambitious people like this guy. Not only is his passion call center operations, but he's our host. He's the CEO of Expivia Interaction Marketing Group and the Call Center Geek himself, Tom Laird.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center and contact center podcast. We try to give you some actionable items, take back in your contact center, improve the overall quality, improve your agent experience, hopefully improve your customer experience as well. My name is Tom Laird. I am the CEO here at Expivia Interaction Marketing. Expivia is a 650-seat call center outsourcer here in the States, located in Erie, Pennsylvania. How's everybody doing? We are going live here on LinkedIn. We're going live now on TikTok as well. I wanted to talk about, all of this AI that has just been flooding into this kind of stream of contact center and customer experience. And I know I've seen this dance before, and I don't want people to make the same mistakes. And I see the same mistakes that are about to be made. So I wanted to do an episode to talk about doing this the right way, how to create a contact center that is infused with AI, both from the back end, right, in some of the tools that are there from a speech analytics and workforce management, but also from the front end, right? Getting into I don't want to say the scary piece, but kind of the cool part, where we're looking at chatbots, we're looking at advanced speech learning, we're looking at people using the actual robot and bots to speak and to create the knowledge base that human beings are doing now. I have a couple thoughts on this too, as I've been in the industry here for about 30 years. I've seen technology come and go. I've seen, the panacea, and I don't know, you keep using the word panacea, but this thought that, technology will be taking over for the agents, right? So we started with kind of the IVR, right? So the IVR was going to all we're going to have is IVR farms, all self-service, all customer support is going to be able to be done through the IVR. And we're not going to need agents at all. And obviously we found that is not even close to kind of how things have panned out. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that this technology that is coming out now with, what we've seen from a ChatGPT, what we've seen from some of these other kind of ChatGPT kind of like Bard, right? Bard from, which I know made a huge mistake at a Google event, but you see the technology, it's in your face, and you would be naive, right? Not to think that there will be some fallout from a contact center from the agent standpoint. So here's kind of my overall take, 30,000 foot view take on where I see this and how the effect of the actual agent is and to organizations. Right now, you have a bunch of C-level executives that are in major organizations that are talking about how do we use this technology? How do we employ a strategy to lower our costs, right? That's their main thought. How do we lower our costs? How do we raise our profits, at least in their narrow kind of thinking? How do we get rid of our contact center, get rid of the agents? And I think that there is 20-30% of the organizations out there that are thinking that way. I think you have another 20, 30, 40% of organizations as well that are thinking, whoa, I don't want to touch this right now. Let's see how this whole thing plays out. And I think, there is some nervousness as well as where is this really going to be impacting our customer experience? Where is it going to be impacting where we see our agents and the need for our agents, and they're kind of taking a step back. And then I think you have that final, 20-ish% that is in the middle. And that's kind of where I am trying to position my organization to be in the middle. to do this the smart way, to figure out where AI can really have the biggest impact. What is the low-hanging fruit that we can start to build upon, that we don't just rush to judge this technology for the better or for the worse. And I think, those are the organizations, at least in the short term, that, at least in my thought process, are really going to thrive and be successful with this. So this is how I'm building out and kind of the change of thought I'm doing in our contact center. Now, we have about 650 agents. We're pretty technologically advanced for what we can do. We are on the NICE CX1 platform, a ton of different integrations with different CRMs, with different clients, whether it be Zoho, Zendesk, Salesforce, all the way to, proprietary CRMs that our customers have. The first thing that I have noticed, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't seen, and I don't foresee a huge change in really what we're doing. Where the change is going to come is kind of this funnel, right? This funnel of only the agent can handle these type of questions, and only right now our chatbots can handle these kind of questions. Well, what's happening is I think this new technology is the AI is going to dig deeper into the funnel. Right. So when it digs deeper into the funnel, it's going to be able to answer more things. I don't think we're going to get rid of the agent, at least in the next, 5 to 10 years. I know that's not that long a period of time, but I don't think that we will be getting rid of the agent, totally. But again, we're starting to see that AI is creeping into our funnel of what it can answer. So the first thing that, we made sure that we have is all the advanced tools, right? So again, if you want to be forward looking, you want to make sure that you are staying on the edge of kind of what's going on, and especially with this AI world, right? Looking at things, first of all, blocking and tackling, being fully omni-channel, right? And then having advanced routing that goes with this. So AI can help us, and it has helped us now with our routing, with our predicted queues, how we route off of predicted queues. So, if we see, hey, in CX1 and most all the CCaaS players have this kind of technology, but they call it CX1 calls it workforce intelligence. So basically, when a call is in queue or in the IVR, there can be a predicted wait time, right? That the AI thinks and talks through, right? And thinks, whatever that means, right? But once it deems that, yes, there will be calls in queue and they'll be waiting, it will pull agents and change their skills automatically, so that those calls can get answered. And then as soon as a service level or a handle time or an average speed of answer is met, whatever that business rule is, then those agents can go back. So for the first part of this, right, looking at a high-end platform that you can do some advanced AI in the routing, right, into looking at your workforce management. How are you forecasting calls? I mean, one of the biggest changes I've seen over the last 2 to 3 years has been how AI has had a huge impact on some of these back-end tools, right? So workforce management and WFM, and how the forecasting of those tools, with kind of these advanced algorithms that are starting to come up has made it much better, right? Our forecasting is, it's down to literally the 15-minute interval. We can predict, 95% of the time what the actual call volume will be for that interval, which means we allow for our customers, we can staff at the exact number that they need to meet the exact service level that they need. It's bringing in kind of the art and the science. And I think that's a huge piece of the AI. The other piece that you need to start to really think about, if you do not have, is advanced analytics and speech analytics, right? And now they're calling it really interaction analytics, because it's not just voice. But currently we can do analytics on voice, on chat, on digital, on emails, using AI to take all of this data that is coming into our contact center and then making it usable for operations, usable for marketing, especially marketing, right? Being able to tell a CMO that the call center is seeing that 25% of the calls that came in yesterday for this new tool or this new toy or this new widget that you just shipped everywhere, the phrase "too expensive" kept being used. Maybe we need to position our marketing on that actual price, on the price point, right? Looking at packaging when things are coming in, and we in the past we'd ask an agent, "Hey, what are you hearing?" Well, now we don't have to ask the agent, because we have all this data. We have AI that is now taking that data, parsing it for us, so we can see that this tool, this toy, again, this widget, this thing that we're building. When we ship it, it's breaking. It's breaking in when it's being shipped, or maybe it's breaking 2 weeks after we ship it and it's being used, right? And before, we could kind of give some anecdotal evidence of that, but now we're actually listening to the customer when the customer is interacting with us. And we're able to give, again, from logistics to marketing to operations, give actual insights of what the customer is saying. The contact center, from the AI perspective, is turning into a much more powerful tool than just helping a customer answer their problem. When done right, when infused with the newer technologies, we can really become an asset to an organization, and we meaning the call center or the contact center. The other thing that I really start to see is the digital revolution with this, right? So talking about things even before it comes to a call center, looking at social media, looking at Twitter, looking at WhatsApp, looking at Facebook, seeing what issues are happening out there in those worlds, and also looking at even the website. Are we using analytics to see that, there's a page that people keep struggling with? There's one page that they keep asking for chat. How do we kind of fix things right before they actually get to a point where we have to interact with them in a customer experience way? So using proactive customer support, I think, is another way that AI can really have a huge impact. Obviously, from a reporting aspect, the reporting that happens now with all of this new technology is absolutely freaking amazing, right? From our real-time dashboards to advanced reporting to tying in WFM and all the telephony data, but then tying in your database data as well. So maybe you want to talk about, in from a BI, from an AI standpoint, hey, what is the, if we have a service level of a 90-10, what is our chances for a cross-sell or upsell compared to if we have customers that wait for maybe a minute or 2 minutes? Is there a difference, right? And looking at things that we wouldn't even quantify before, but now with AI and with the tools that we have from a reporting aspect, we can really dig deep into things that maybe we never would have seen correlate before, that have huge correlations. And I think, when you look at the analytics piece, when you look at the reporting piece and you're tying that together, right, it's become a really, really powerful tool for everybody who's using it. And I think that's all we're talking about for AI right now is chatbots, right? And how you're going to be able to talk in this chatbot is going to be able to, like a chat GPT, is just going to be able to use kind of natural language processing and answer your questions. What we're not looking at is AI infused contact centers, right? Have all of these tools that need to have this kind of advanced technology into them as well, right? So again, let me just say it: workforce intelligence, workforce management, speech analytics, looking at your advanced routing, like all of these things are really important. And I think this is why it's really, really important as well to use a really good platform, right? Don't just think about, when you're maybe looking at, hey, we have a premise-based Cisco switch, or we're an Avaya switch, or whatever, those type of on-prem things that you may have, and we want to move to the cloud. But this provider is a little bit more expensive, and this one's a little cheaper. All right. If you don't really know what you're doing, I think it's really important, again, not to go off topic here, but to have a broker, have a consultant, have somebody that can talk through these things with you, that you can have a roadmap, a technology roadmap, that you're thinking not just right now of what we need, but to stay ahead of where our competitors are going and where the industry is going. These are some of the tools that we want to make sure that we're implementing over the next year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, right? And thinking those things out as well when you're looking for that new platform, because getting a new platform is your one chance to really revolutionize your whole customer experience. If you get it wrong, it's a total disaster. When you get it right, you can absolutely elevate your customer experiences to crazy levels. All right, now let's talk about more forward-facing AI in your face, like the cool stuff that everybody kind of wants to talk about now. And, the bridge between the analytics and the WFM and the advanced reporting, the WFI, right? The bridge to this kind of forward-facing chatbot that's going to do everything is Agent Assist, right? And I think what you're going to see within the next year or two, and I think it's going to be that quick, Agent Assist will be as regular in a contact center as a headset. I was not a huge fan and that maybe I didn't understand it enough, but trying to process through how this technology would help. And me being a BPO, so we're an outsourcer with a ton of different clients. And at the beginning of that technology, it just seemed like it could be a little overwhelming, right? To implement this on multiple clients and kind of how that would work. And I kept saying to everybody, internal call centers should utilize this. BPOs, I'm not really sure if there's a good ROI on it for us and a value for our client. But I've totally done a 180 on that. And the technology now that is available will basically guide the agent like a talking supervisor in their ear who's an expert on the program, right? So your training times are going to be shrunk. The amount of time that it's going to take, you to get even beyond proficient, but getting to a level of sales and cross-sell and upsell and quality, I think will just be just lightning speeds, right? Just because you have that helper with you, right? Imagine a huge catalog. Like, again, I use this. Let's say you are a customer experience manager for a giant toy company, like a Toys R Us, right? Who's coming back, right? So when somebody calls and says, "Hey, I have this this fire engine, right, with the ladder and it's red and the wheel broke. How do I fix that? Because it says that, here I can just click something and you're like, the agent is never going to have the experience or understand every single toy and the wheel on that toy." And we can talk about KMS, knowledge management systems, that they can then look that up, which then takes time. They have to read through it. They're not experts on it. They're trying to process it. Maybe they give wrong information. But now with AI and Agent Assist, we can go directly into that KMS. It can pull up actual language that the agent can talk and can say to that customer. Just like a ChatGPT finding those answers very quickly, Agent Assist is going to be able to assist agents in ways that are going to make the agent experience much better, and then the customer experience better too, because the agent's going to feel comfortable and confident that they're giving really good answers. I think what you're going to see as well is overall an uptick in actual agent performance when they're not struggling, when they're not getting yelled at, when they're giving proper answers. I really see a kind of something that's going to be kind of revolutionary for that agent. So I think that's a huge bridge, to the full bore kind of ChatGPT model of AI, answering all of the questions for the customer. And again, while I think that may happen in the future, I think right now, looking at our funnel where chatbots were here, now with AI, they're going to start to answer these questions, right? But we still have our agent here at the bottom. One of the things a prediction that I kind of make, and I don't mean to say this as selfish or kind of, I guess, self-promoting, but I think that the onshore contact centers are going to have a bigger place now in the realm of outsourcing than the nearshore offshore. There's so many of those nearshore offshore, not that they can't answer difficult questions, but when you do have a little bit of a language barrier and only the really difficult questions are coming to agents, if you have a 15, 20 minute, 30 minute phone call, I think the USA, from a USA customer service perspective, it becomes a little bit more proficient and a little bit more, better from the customer experience if you have a USA agent. I know that there's companies out there that are doing a lot with masking agents' voices, right? So they sound, whether it's European, they sound Scottish, they sound like they're from Texas, or whatever that is. And I think that could have a play into it as well. But when you think about it, I do think in the 10-year, 7-year time frame that the AI will be really good. Let me caution everybody about this, because this is the one thing I think is going to happen is, and I'm starting to see it, and this is the mistake that everybody is making, is there is an absolute rush, right, to AI. There are just a lot of, I don't want to say seedy companies, but companies that are not very proficient in the tool that are acting like they are. They want to sell you their chatbot, and C-level executives want to buy these AI chatbots thinking that they're going to just totally revolutionize the customer experience. It's going to be a total disaster in the short term. You're going to see CSAT scores go down. You're going to see NPS scores go down. You're going to see sentiment scores go down, like way down. There's going to be a huge pushback and a falling out with, is AI really the thing that we thought it was? And when that pushback, and when you start to hear that, that's when I think it's really going to take hold, because there's companies that are really good right now that are building things that are going to take time. They're not going to be able to rush them to market. And when they come, I think that you're going to really see how exciting and how cool this technology really, really can be. So I think that's kind of where I kind of see things now, right? There's the people who are rushing to do it, like I said earlier, and the people that are just kind of petrified of it and don't know what to do, right? And I don't think you have to be either, right? Just start putting your toe in the water with the back end tools that are AI infused, right? Start to move to an agent assist. Start to look at, you probably have a chatbot now, right? None of that technology or that core technology changes. It just is getting better. Right? That's the biggest thing, right? We've had chatbots forever. They haven't been very good. I think they're going to start to be very good, right? We're going to start to then infuse some voice with them as well. But I still think that there's a place for the agent. And the other thing I think you're going to start to see is when you had offshore contact centers, and then the rival was onshore with their customer support. Like, I forget if it was Citibank or Chase or Discover. One of those would always say, hey, USA customer support no matter what. And I think you're going to start to see, human being customer support. We're not going to just have, we don't have robots. We don't have that. We can give you empathy. We can really talk through your program. Now we have AI infused things to help, but your front end, their front end are really going to be able to help you with that. So again, that's kind of just my thoughts on taking your time, not panicking over this kind of this revolution that we're starting to see, making the best of the technology that you have and trying to upgrade what you have right now. Start with the back end tools and then start that bridge to the front end kind of customer experiences as well. All right, I got a couple questions here on TikTok. Smaller teams forecasting when we've got two unexpected. Okay, so this is Nebraska Blue Dot. How do you suggest smaller teams forecasting when we've got two out unexpectedly, FLMA, those type of issues? All right, so I don't know if I can totally answer your question, but let me start with smaller teams and forecasting. So I just did a podcast, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and we talked about the tools that you really need. If you are under 75 seats, I don't think you need WFM at all, right? There's a thing, it's called the Erlang C calculator, ERLANG C calculator. And the Erlang C will basically do what you will need from a forecasting standpoint. So what you will do is you'll put in, how many calls that you're getting. You need to know how many calls that you get maybe in an hour or half hour or 15-minute interval. You need to know how long your calls are. What is the average handle time, right? And then what it will do for you is it will spit out, then you put in your shrinkage. So shrinkage is basically what you're talking about. So if we have FLMA, if we have call outs, what is the percentage roughly that we do have, right? For most organizations, it's depending on your size, is maybe 15 to 20%. And again, I think we are right around, we do 10 to 13% for our shrinkage in our contact center. And then it will basically spit out the number of what you need per interval. So again, Nebraska, I don't know if that answers that question totally. But on the ExpiviaUSA.com website, we have a free Erlang C calculator. Callcenterhelper.com has a free Erlang C calculator. Erlang, ERLANG, sorry. So ERLANG, then it's -C. So Erlang C calculator. And I think that's really all you need. When we were just starting up and we were a startup here and we had, 15 agents, that's all I used, right? And I put it on our website because it was so valuable for us. And now, obviously, I can't use that because of just the size and scope of what we're doing, and we need to really be forecasted out with a lot of things. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, no, Nebraska, that's cool. The Salesforce and Contact Suite, that we utilize that as well, right? For clients that are using Salesforce, that's integrated right into the Salesforce platform. You can do some really cool things, just so you know, too. Like you can route your calls off of Salesforce data which is, a really cool aspect of kind of when you have those things integrated like that. I think it's really cool. So again, if you're integrated fully with the InContact and the Salesforce, check that out, because there's some really easy and cool ways that you can route calls and kind of create a pretty cool customer experience. Can AI close my support tickets before the issue is resolved? I mean, yes and no. There's a process or a tool called RPA, and RPA basically allows the system to handle all of your back end processes after the call is done. So let's say, you're signing up for, again, I keep using like satellite radio, or you're signing up for cable TV, which nobody uses cable TV anymore. But let's just say you are, and there's like 5 different pages that you need to fill out. As long as all of that information is done in the CRM, once the call is done, it will take all that information and fill all the paperwork out, so the agents don't need to do that. And then it can kind of close that out. So again, I think depending on the tool that you want to use the AI with, there are some things that you can do depending on the size. That again, the bigger the team, the more cost savings that you're going to find from this. If you have 15 agents, then I would just, I would kind of do it on your own, because it does cost, a little bit of a pretty penny to get that set up, and you have to have some programming. But the tool is amazing, right? I mean, I've seen like a 10,000 seat contact center, cut their overall handle time by like 15 to 20% using that tool, which is just a crazy amount of savings. So yeah, that's something to definitely kind of take a look at. Let me see what else we got here. So from a voice of customer tools, so let me give me a little bit of a rant on this. So when you're talking about voice of customer, there's multiple things that come into this, right? There's the survey tools, right? So you're looking at the emails, you're looking at the survey that's done after the call, right? Anytime I think that you're asking for voice of customer information in that way, I think it's a mistake. And I kind of talk to my clients about not utilizing that, because you only find 2 people really get that done. 1, they had a horrific experience and they want to just hammer you, right? Or 2, they had a great experience and maybe that had nothing to do with the agent. They got their money refunded. A lot of times we'll see the agent does an absolutely unbelievable job, but they followed business rules that went against what the customer wanted. So maybe we could not refund them. We couldn't send them something else out. So they hammer us on a survey, when really it had no reflection on the job that the agent did, because the agent actually did a great job. That's why I love analytics and the AI piece of analytics, to make sure that every single interaction, so 100% of all your interactions are quote unquote being scored, at least from a sentiment standpoint. And I think when you can get it to that point where you're really starting to benchmark sentiment scores, seeing what the agent does. And the other cool thing about speech analytics is we can look at what percentage of customers called in, pissed off or ticked off, and that we flip them right to being happy and having positive sentiment, right? We score our agents on that. And you can, on the flip side, you can see what customers called in happy and maybe our agent really ticked them off or did a poor job. And we can look at those, and through analytics, we can peel those out too, listen to those calls, find if we have any coaching opportunities for that. No, so we're using, I use the CX1 platform when it comes to, the analytic piece. They do have a voice of customer. I forget what it's called. We do not utilize it. I've just moved off, and everyone is kind of just using sentiment and from the interaction analytics that we kind of use. When it comes to like the customer journey, AI is having an impact because it's having an impact in the tools of that, right? So AI in itself, I don't think will really have an impact of us talking about customer journey, right? But looking at analytics and looking at trending keywords and looking at the process of what we put a customer through, the reporting of that, the analytics of that are getting better and better and better for allowing us to make really good insights into how we want to change the contact center, how we want to change how we do our CX process, right? Is our front end website terrible? Do we really struggle with people that want to do refunds and they can't find our website, or they can't find our phone number on our website? What are some of the things that we can change from the front end, right? I think that's where the reporting aspect and the analytic piece is really important. When you look at and you have if we benchmark, we take on a new client and a new customer, and let's say we like to benchmark their sentiment scores. So we'll see that maybe only 27% of their customers have positive sentiment, right, with their customer base. So we'll ask them the question why, and then we can look at the trending keywords, right? Most of the time it has nothing to do with the agent. It has to do with the website stinks. Logistics stinks. I never get my product. I can't get through to customer support, right? So we look at that and we talk to the client and we say, hey, listen, we can do a lot of things in the call center, but you got to fix the website. You got to fix your shipping. You got to fix this and this and this. And they're like, oh my God, wow. Right. So we are able to kind of look at the entire customer journey, not just be able to fix the call center or talk about the call center, but we were able to talk about all these other aspects of the organization's business. And that really has a huge effect on customer journey and kind of just the full swath, not just the call center. And again, going back, that's why I think, voice of customer stuff needs to be done the right way. And I think surveys and those types of things are being revolutionized by analytics and will become a thing of the past very, very quickly. Yeah, no, hey, Jay Bark, listen, hit me up on LinkedIn. There's a couple people here on LinkedIn. I'm doing this on LinkedIn Live too. And anybody who has a question, or if you guys want to talk, I'm more than happy to schedule some time, kind of a cheap plug as well. I do have it's the advice from Call Center Geek. If anybody's into, and I know I get some pushback on this, anybody's into NFTs, they're totally free. I don't charge anything for them. We only have 25 of them. I think about 10 of them have been taken. It costs like $4, right? Because you just got to pay gas. And basically you get a quarterly 15 to 20 minute call with me on anything any issues that you have, or anything you want to talk about in your call center. That's just something I can throw out there as well. But for anybody, again, who's new, love to have you guys listen to Advice from Call Center Geek, our podcast. This will be the 181st episode. We talk about a lot of these kind of things. And yeah, Jay, I do a lot of consulting, right? So not only do we have our core customer service outsourcing business, which is kind of my real-time job, but then we have a full consulting wing as well that basically is me and my team. So you're not really pawned off on anybody because we're very small. We don't take very many clients as well. Just the ones that we think that we can really help and support and kind of talk through some of this stuff. Nathan, I looked up the Grupo NGN and I really don't know enough about it to give you my opinion on it. I've never demoed them. I've never seen them. I saw what looked like a pretty cool value prop that they had. But I did not. I don't want to give you a bad opinion. Yeah, listen, Jay Brook, I am on TikTok a lot. If you follow me now, you'll see there's a ton of videos that I'm doing daily. I'm trying to do 3 to 5 videos a day talking about everything from coaching to customer experience to what's happening in the industry to service levels and KPIs. I try to do once a week, we do a podcast, and I've started to go do LinkedIn Live with it just to kind of record it and get it on another platform to be able to talk to awesome people like you who maybe I'm not reaching as well on LinkedIn. But yeah, I'd love for all of you guys to check out the podcast and love to hear what you guys think of it, or maybe give it a shout out if you think it's providing any value of it. The Expivia Digital Suite, no, I have not demoed that. Most of the, what I have looked for or what I'm looking at is all of the core main CCaaS players. So, Nice CX1, Genesis, Five9, UJet. There's a ton of really good players now in the space that, looking at what customers need and, what is the best aspect of them, right? Do they need a UCaaS platform? Do they need a CCaaS platform? I'm sorry, I do not speak Russian. I wish I did. It would be awesome if I did, but I do not speak Russian. Nostrovia, right? Is that Polish? Or is that I think that's about all I got. All I got. A lot of the tools, and especially now, I'm getting a lot of the AI players that want me to kind of demo their tools, right? So that I, either I can talk about them or, I can at least let them look at, when I have a customer. And I'll be at Call Center Week. Call Center Week has been, I've been kind of hammered them a little bit too for some of the offerings right? That it's really just turned into a technology expo, right? It's not really there to help people that are trying to get better with their contact center stuff, but and every single booth is something, hammered with AI, plastered with AI all over it. So, I will be there this year to kind of give my 2 cents on that as well. Hopefully I can provide some value and just to some of those guys as well. But if you guys do not have any other questions, I'm going to probably hop off here. I'll give you one more second if anybody has anything, but hit me up on LinkedIn. Make sure, how long? So my background is this is all I've ever done. So I'm 47 years old. My family actually started a call center. So through the mid 80s. So I was in there, filling vending machines, and I'm 8 or 9 years old. That's when you could still smoke in the call center. So everybody was smoking. But then through college, they developed, into about a 1,500 seat center. I was on the phones. I was a supervisor. I was in the IT area. And then we worked for primarily all financial services companies. So, Bank of America, Citibank, Chase, GCAP, we had all this swath of clients. And then, when 2008, 2009, 2010 happened, the Great Recession was really a Great Depression for us. So we got killed. Private equity guys came in, bought it, fired everybody 3 months later. So I started my company, Expivia, right? We started about 2010, 2011, found funding, started with 4 agents, had a little bit of an inside track because of, some of the, just the clients that we had in the past. So we have developed not only our call center outsourcing business, but our consulting business kind of in tandem as we've gone through. And again, we're utilizing, I'm not just a sales guy, right? I am someone who's actually utilizing the tools, right? So I'm going to tell you, hey, this tool stinks. This isn't good. This is awesome. Hey, we utilize this. So a lot of the time it's just sales guys that took a ton of demos, right? Instead of maybe somebody like me who is literally in the space, utilizing all the tools, playing around, going to all the call center shows, talking to people, have a ton of friends that own contact centers. What tools are you guys using? What do you like? So, well, hey, I appreciate it. I it's funny. Speaking of, people normally talk trash on TikTok. I just did a post on TikTok or did a video that basically says, guys, I'm taking a couple of these posts down. I did not come on here to argue or fight. And it was basically talking about how much call center agents should be paid. Again, this is all I want to do. This is a passion of mine. I've done it for a long time. I know there's a lot of people who maybe are newer in the industry that I would like to help. And, if there's any business that I could get out of it, honestly, I would love that as well. But that's not the core reason I'm doing this. It's just really to try to give back a little bit. And I think I have some knowledge of some things that are pretty niche, right? Not a lot of people like it, but when I find the niche of person, I think it can be very, very helpful. So again, guys, hit me up. Obviously, try to follow the podcast. Follow me here on TikTok and on LinkedIn as well. If you're listening to this, please find me on LinkedIn and hit me up there too, and be happy to talk and try to see if I can help you in any way with your contact center. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. COVID would show leaders picks of the in and out paying more. Yeah. And listen, the reason that is a lot of times during COVID is because they had to be there on site, right? And nobody wanted to be on site for anything. And again, I don't want to get deep into this because I don't want to get into an argument. But I think, we have seen call center agents' salaries really rise. And I think it's no coincidence that we're starting to see some AI play into this space. I don't think, again, it's going to get rid of the call center agents, but it's probably going to chop 20 to 25% of most headcount, away. And it is, so that's a good question. So why hire US agents when you can outsource for so much cheaper? This is a value prop that I have to kind of go through every single day. And I constantly think about it, right? The number one reason, is not just the voice. And I think, we can say what we want, but having a USA agent that understands the culture, that can talk about the Super Bowl, that understands, lingo and sarcasm, to the point that we do, I think that there is a huge piece of it. I don't think that's the only piece. The other thing, though, what has happened is because I have to charge more for my contact center and for my agents, I have to provide more value. So the call centers that just said, hey, we just have a button in a seat or an agent in a seat answering calls, and that's all we're going to do. They're going to go away if they're not gone already, right? But what I have found is that we are providing now an added value, especially to the mid-tier, right? Because I'm not a huge call center. I'm not 10,000 seats. So if you have 20 seats, you have 15 seats, you have 10 seats, you have 30 seats, your internal call center probably cannot afford, right? Or is not putting in the investment in that. That's why if you outsource to someone like me or somebody in the industry that's like me, you will now find your technology stack went from 0 to 100 overnight. Analytics, workforce management, natural speech language IVR, all of these different tools that you now have the power to be touching and the power to be utilizing. And I think that there's a little bit more accountability as well for US agent. Now, listen, we can go back and forth on, because I think there is a lot of value for many organizations to go offshore, to go near shore, right? If you have 10, 15,000 seats, you might not even have a choice because you just cannot afford it. If that's the level of customer support you want to provide, you might need to go offshore. So again, it's a cultural aspect of an organization, right? To say, hey, we have USA customer support. And I think there are cultural aspects of what a USA agent can provide, not only from a language barrier, but just understanding kind of what's going on. And then, the other aspect is you're finding most USA centers are going extremely high tech, right? Where a lot of the, kind of the offshore, near shore are just using the value prop of we're cheaper. I can't use the word cheaper. So what can I use? More technology, higher value, insights with analytics, giving you all this stuff. So yes, are you paying more? Yes, but I'm hopeful that you're finding more value than you would find if you just paid, $16 near shore. And that's just a decision that organizations have to make. And a lot of them don't. A lot of them go offshore and I'm totally fine with it. So yeah, I think it just really just depends on the organization, the culture, and kind of what you want, and the size and what your budget is as well. But I think we have found a niche in that, that credit union, that 20 seat, 30 seat, 50 seat, 100 seat center, right? In that world, right? Love to bring on a 250 or 300 seat, partner, but we are here for those guys, right? That maybe they can't afford that stuff, or the company's not making that investment into their call center, where if they outsourced, probably almost found a cheaper price than if they did all that. Don't have to pay for agents, don't have to pay for payroll, don't have to worry about any of that. Don't have to worry about minutes, get rid of your licenses. And, when you do kind of the balancing act, I think for a lot of organizations, it makes a lot of sense. No, you can definitely hire 8 agents in India for 1 in the US. And I think, again, I don't say you get what you pay for, but if all you need is some basic stuff, customer support, I think it makes total sense. If you're looking for something that's really in depth, you want the full meal deal, you want, all the technology that comes to play with it, then I think that there is value coming back here into the States to high-end contact centers that are all over here. I have a lot of friends who run really, really tight ships and do a really great job when it comes to QA. And we haven't even talked about QA, right? And like for me, like we monitor everything, score everything. You have a live dashboard that you can see everything, right? So you can actually see the service level, see the agents. You can double click on an agent. You can monitor an agent. We are totally transparent to everything. A lot of times you don't find that offshore. So I think, again, we try to make it as easy and awesome as possible for customers that want to outsource. But again, I don't want this to be a sales pitch about Expivia or me, but those are just kind of my things of how I think through our value prop and how I think through how I can compete with nearshore, offshore that can, hire 8 agents to every one of mine, right? What value do I provide for that? And I think, if you would ever talk to our customers, that they would find that value. So, all right, guys, that was awesome. Again, thank you guys so much. AMAs are way more fun for me, and I think provide way more value for everybody than just me talking about a topic. So this I'm just going to make this an episode, which is really cool. This is kind of a podcast episode that turned into an AMA. So thank you guys. I'm extremely pleased and happy that everybody who came on here by far our biggest one. Again, if you are on TikTok, hit me up on LinkedIn. If you are on LinkedIn, please hit me up on TikTok because I'm providing different content to both. And I think you guys will really enjoy it. But thank you guys so much. And I'll talk to you probably later this week.